Get the headlines brought to you by Doral Hyundai. At Doral Hyundai, choose from over 1,300 new Hyundai models inventory like the Tucson, Sonata, and Palisade. And remember, when it comes to Hyundai, the great deals are at Doral Hyundai. The Panthers, they dropped game one of the Stanley Cup Final, 4-3 to the Oilers in overtime. They're back at it tomorrow with game two. We'll get back into it a little bit later on. The Marlins, they got swept by the Rockies. I don't really even know what there is to say.
What do you
want me to say?
Want to say?
What do you want to say about that? Like, you just lost. You got
Let it go.
swept by the worst team in baseball.
Yep.
And I mean, at that point, if you're Peter Bendix, what could be said? Him and Clayton McCullough. What could this duo have to say about it? You know, just terrible. Hopefully, Yuri Perez comes back and
terrible.
Some kind of life. Oh, so we got this. Is this all set? Is Coco Gauff and Sabalenka, is that set? She won?
Yeah.
That was quick.
Yeah.
Did anybody even, you couldn't even go get popcorn at the French Open. Coco Gauff, what did it take? Would that take an hour?
Did
that take an hour? Not even?
I mean, she hosed her down pretty good.
Holy crap.
That was pretty quick.
Jesus. Buzzsaw, dude. NBA Finals begin tonight. Oklahoma City Thunder against the Indiana Pacers. OKC's a 9.5-point favorite. Flip to some football here. Mike McDaniel. This was him yesterday. He talked about the team, or this was a couple days ago, excuse me. And he was talking about, is this a reset season for the Miami Dolphins?
Why would you ask somebody that? I don't know. Nobody has ever, as long as you've been around sports.
Yep.
How many times has a coach said, yeah, it's a reset?
No, that's why you got to ask.
Nobody's ever said it.
Here's what Mike McDaniel had to say about it.
We are trying to maximize our opportunity, and I think we have a good amount of young players that are very, very football focused, and their approach every day gives them the chance to be productive NFL players early. I think the days of, just the way that I see patterns of roster construction, the days of putting rookies on our entire rookie class on ice, I think are over. You have to have guys that have the appropriate mindset, that they will do what needs to be done to do right by their teammates.
So,
what?
What do you mean? You didn't get that? Brandon says, my stomach starts bubbling when he speaks.
What the?
I thought that was very clear.
What did he say?
He's saying that there's no hand holding. There's no not letting the rookies play. The rookies are going to play.
So he's anti-Spo.
It seems like it.
Mm-hmm.
Or we're going to get anti-Cam Smith, who, didn't do much his rookie year. And then Patrick Paul kind of got his feet wet. Got his feet wet last year.
I told you.
And now he's got the starting gig.
I would have taken Patrick Paul and played him at guard right next to Teron Armstead. Because if you play next to the guy, it would have been a lot easier for him to then take that position.
I don't hate that, but they didn't. Do you think it's going to be, there's still going to be adjustments for him?
No.
Or do you think he'll be okay?
I think he still had Teron in the room.
He's a Giant.
Yeah, but being a Giant doesn't mean anything.
Better be.
What? It doesn't, dude.
What?
Think about this. Some of the guys he's defending are 6'4", 6'5", 260, 270, and run 4.445. That's a different beast than he has ever had to deal with.
You don't think he got that with the Houston Cougs?
Really?
Now, Jeff Darlington, credible guy, right? ESPN, long-time ties to Miami, saved Scotty Scheffler's life.
No, he didn't.
He saved his life.
No, he didn't.
We don't know what would have happened to Scotty Scheffler without Jeff Darlington.
He would have went to jail. and he would have gotten bailed out.
What if what if he would have gotten bludgeoned? Like the cop takes out a billy club and starts whacking at Scotty Scheffler. He didn't do that because Jeff Darlington was there. Too much. I apologize.
Jeff Darlington almost got arrested.
He did. It's a good friend. Jeff Darlington was on Joe Rose's show this morning. He said Mike McDaniel, very bullish on this offensive line. Don't do that. Don't let Jeff Darlington speak.
Listen, if the offensive line to me is the key to this whole season.
Yeah.
I personally think that if that offensive line protects, it changes everything. I think Tua is easily a top 10 quarterback in the league. If that line protects him, gives him the proper time to make the throws, and keeps him healthy.
Yeah.
I truly believe that. And I also will tell you that from talking to Mike, he is very bullish on this offensive line.
He should be. He should be.
Yeah. He thinks this is quietly going to be, behind the scenes. I know that he thinks that this offensive line is underrated. He thinks they're a bunch of dogs. They are in there grinding this offseason in a way that he hasn't seen before. I'm with you. I do understand that the pressure is on. I think he knows that. But I also think you can flip the switch. We've seen it in this league plenty of times. I mean, look at the Commanders last year. Yes, it was because of Jaden Daniels, but they made some key changes at positions that we don't talk about all the time, and as a result, they ended up in the playoffs.
There you go. Jeff Darlington this morning on the Joe Rose show. Why are you dude? Come on. What? Why isn't that good news? Mike McDaniel's fired up.
Now, listen, and I just want to put things in perspective. If somebody comes to you and complains and tells you about your inefficiencies as a team,
yeah,
and then that season ends, and then you come back the following year, and everybody starts asking you questions about that same unit.
Yeah.
Based on nothing, you're going to celebrate what you've done at that. That's how you keep your job. That's called keeping your job.
Right? He doesn't have to sell his job to Jeff Darlington.
That's just like when a company.
You think he's selling Jeff Darlington a bill of goods?
When a company gets caught up in something and their sales drop tremendously because of whatever, a bad product or whatever. And then they come out and say, new management, we've
No, I don't appreciate that.
No, I'm just telling you.
Yeah, but you don't do that to Jeff Darlington.
Okay, let me ask you a question. Last year, when there was questions about the offensive line, what happened?
Oof.
What happened? You got laughed at.
Well, we all knew that was a mistake that was direct from the horse's mouth.
Okay, so why is this?
Jeff Darlington.
Until they play.
Yeah.
No, he was talking about somebody else being bullish.
He said Mike McDaniel was bullish when he talked to him. No, he said. No, I understand.
Jeff Darlington didn't say that.
He said.
He passed the word somebody else said.
Yeah, he said Mike McDaniel is very bullish.
What else is he going to be?
I don't know. Why say anything?
Name a coach that gets up there and say, hey, coach, what do you think about the offensive line? A little mid.
No, but if I don't think I think if he was me, you wouldn't be bullish. You'd just be like, we'll see.
No, you'll be just like Chris Greer was last year.
No, I don't think so. Not to Jeff Darlington. He knows where the bodies are buried.
Again, I'm not saying this for any other reason other than you're basing opinions on no football being played. I don't do that.
Mike McDaniel is.
Yeah.
But maybe he thinks
Patrick Paul. You can't possibly think anything of what your team's going to be without playing football.
Mike McDaniel knows. Hold on. He knows what football. He's been around football a long time. He knows at this time of year what he should be bullish on and what he should not be bullish on.
I tell you what he should not be bullish on. Guys who haven't hit anybody. Just a fair assessment.
Okay. Hold on, though. Hold on. All right. He doesn't have to deal with old Mr. Potato Head falling apart. Okay, he's gone, retired. Eichenberg, bench warmer. All right.
Eichenberg is here. I told you why Eichenberg is here.
Okay, I don't want to talk about him because he's, to me, bench warmer. He's not starting. We know that.
Okay, go.
All right. So you got the rookie, Patrick Paul.
Mm-hmm.
You got James Daniels. Hopefully his Achilles is all right.
There we go.
All right. We got Aaron Brewer. Had a great year last year.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Okay.
We got a rookie in Jonah Savainaya.
Mm-hmm. I like it.
All right. And then Austin Jackson's back healthy, baby.
And Austin Jackson, heard a number of good things about Austin Jackson.
All right. So,
okay, that's all fine and great. Okay, but listen, I ain't buying in until I see him play some football. Sorry.
All right.
They earned that. Not me.
I agree.
I'm not why do I have to believe anything they tell me about? Because guess what? The offensive line may still look like trash if the coach calls plays and sweeps all the time.
But listen, faith is a free investment. I don't understand what the problem is.
No, it's not a free investment.
It's a free investment.
No. You don't want to invest in something and then have bubble guts all year because
faith costs nothing here.
Okay.
A little belief, baby.
Nope. I believe it when I see it. You know why? That's what they earned.
Humble and kind, which is an interesting handle.
Right. Did they not earn what I say? When I say I'll give it.
Is your skepticism earned?
Huh?
Yes, their skepticism towards them is deserved.
And it has, and keep in mind, my skepticism has less to do with the players and more to do with the play calling. You can't expect a player to be physical and aggressive and you're calling passive and run fast plays. You can't. So when I see this offense and this offensive line that has the right frame of mind to get in the trenches, get a little bit dirty, and be physical, then I'll say something.
Yeah, grab the wrenches.
But until then, it's the same thing as long as the same plays are being called. Thank you. All right. That's it.
But maybe he feels like he's fixed the trenches.
No, maybe. I don't care what he says. I don't care what he thinks.
Why not?
They're not playing football right now. And sometimes when you panic, you go revert to your old stuff. So who's to say how physical Mike McDaniel wants to be when he gets into the heat of battle and starts running all those damn sweeps again? I will wait until I see with my own eyes if the mentality of this team offensively has changed. Until then, I ain't buying it. And you earned it.
Take a break.
Sorry.